But amid all the things going on with our flipping sides and us now berating and hurting our previous allies, while we take very, very ambitious steps to destroy not only our alliances, but our own military power, our intelligence relationships, and our own economy. While we're doing that, right? Gutting the U.S. federal government, hurting the military, hurting our intelligence relationships, ruining our alliances, and trashing the economy. While we're busy with all of those things,
Donald Trump's White House is clearly the most corrupt in history, and of course, that's made a bit easier by the fact of there being two corrupt presidents in that White House. And Donald Trump and Elon Musk, who for some reason have decided lately they want to make their corruption incredibly public. Now, there's probably two reasons for that. The first is they want to cover up the private corruption by distracting us with some insane statements that we just saw from Donald Trump. Or maybe it's just because they love corruption so much, which became very clear in a recent report from Rachel Maddow calling out one of the most blatantly obvious corrupt practices happening in the White House to benefit Elon Musk and his companies that is clearly triggering Donald Trump. And we are going to get into that. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now let's hear this shocking and disturbing report from Rachel Maddow.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio, in addition to defending and advancing that, also joined with Elon Musk this weekend in a bizarre attack on our ally Poland. I mean, just for context here, many observers believe that after Trump gives Putin free rein to do what he wants in his war in Ukraine, Putin will keep going and push into Georgia in the south, which he already invaded in 2008. In the southwest, he's already got a big footprint in Moldova. He appears to be aggressively meddling in the government and elections of Romania already. And of course, due west of Ukraine, sharing a long land border with Ukraine, is our very close ally, Poland. This weekend, President Trump's top campaign donor, Elon Musk, tweeted insults at the foreign minister in Poland and bragged about how Ukraine would collapse without what he called my Starlink system. My Starlink system. That's his satellite internet terminals that are widely used in Ukraine and that Poland mostly pays for. Secretary of State Marco Rubio then jumped in on that and demanded that the Polish foreign minister should say thank you to Elon Musk. You know, and there's a lot to say about this radical 180-degree shift the United States is currently making, switching sides in the world and in the war to join Russia and turn against our allies. I mean, Poland has just announced that it's now going to require every adult male in the country to undergo military training, and they are going to more than double the size of their army. And that is not because they're trying to make anybody feel impressed about their defense spending. It's because they're expecting to soon be at war with Russia, because they're expecting Russia to invade them. France has announced that now that the United States no longer appears to be allied with Europe, and it has been our nuclear umbrella that has been seen as the primary nuclear defense of Europe, President Emmanuel Macron of France is now saying that since the United States no longer appears to be allied with Europe, it may have to be France that posts its nuclear weapons as protection all over Europe now. They're talking about wildly expanding the nuclear deterrent afforded by France in Europe. Both Poland and Germany are also now talking about getting their own nuclear weapons. Oh, good. Trump has meanwhile just cut our support for nuclear non-proliferation detectives all over the globe. These are the people who hunt for those who are trying to illicitly acquire nuclear weapons or materials. They work all over the world, including Iran. Trump has just cut our funding for those activities. Wired magazine reports that Trump and Pete Hegseth at the Pentagon are about to cut 75% of the Defense Department programs that aim to stop proliferation of nuclear weapons, as well as chemical and biological weapons. NBC News reports tonight that Trump additionally is just going to fire 8 to 10% of all the generals and admirals at the senior levels of the United States military, because sure, why not? That one he's going to put a bow on when he delivers it to Red Square, I think, right? That one's extra special. But amid all the things going on with our flipping sides and us now berating and hurting our previous allies, while we take very, very ambitious steps to destroy not only our alliances, but our own military power, our intelligence relationships, and our own economy. While we're doing that, right? Gutting the U.S. federal government, hurting the military, hurting our intelligence relationships, ruining our alliances, and trashing the economy. While we're busy with all of those things, there's just one other thing that kind of, I think, brings all sides of the news today together. Remember at the top I said stick a pin in that? I mentioned that there's this new reporting on the impact of what Trump and Musk are doing at the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, amid all these plane crashes and the crisis they are causing by firing all the people who keep the planes in the sky. At the Atlantic magazine, Isaac Stanley Becker reports on a SpaceX employee who has now been installed at the FAA, quote, to deploy equipment from Starlink across the FAA's communication network. Starlink, of course, Elon Musk's satellite internet terminals company. The directive, quote, promises to make the nation's air traffic control system dependent on Elon Musk, using equipment that experts say has not gone through strict U.S. government security and risk management review. So just put those two things together. Well, we've got this weekend Elon Musk threatening our ally Poland, which is more than doubling its army, talking about nuclear weapons, and preparing to be invaded by Russia. We've got Elon Musk threatening them, saying, you know, my Starlink system, my system, is what is determining the course of the war right now. So be quiet, small man. He actually said that. Be quiet, small man. It's my technology, my Starlink system that is deciding the war. I'm the one. And while we've got Musk behaving that way against one of our allies when it comes to Starlink, we apparently are simultaneously giving over all U.S. airspace to Starlink as well by letting him take over U.S. air traffic control technology at the FAA, installing his own company in place of the companies that have been cleared by the FAA to provide that technology. Not to put too fine a point on it, but as noted today at The Atlantic, quote, Starlink presents many risks, said one expert. Quote, part of the risk is that Musk could simply choose to switch the devices off. If Starlink runs American airspace, because that's what Donald Trump is letting his top campaign donor do, that gives Elon Musk the ability to shut down American airspace at will. Because after all, Starlink is my Starlink system, according to him, and he can do with it what he wants. Now Donald Trump says that's what's going to run air traffic control in the United States. Seem like a good idea?
Even if there weren't planes falling out of the sky at a historic rate, this would be incredibly concerning. Elon Musk continues to expand his power grab over our government and is making himself billions of dollars in doing so. And the DEI of this, all the idea that Republicans want their meritocracy back and they only want the most qualified people, but Elon Musk is given a government contract after losing it from one of our most important agencies. It's just like, it is baffling, it is terrifying, and it is clearly corrupt. Like I said, at the start of this video, it's not just the private corruption from Trump and Elon, they're also happy to make it public. Listen to this crazy post Donald Trump made that shows just that. Trump wrote to Republicans, conservatives, and all great Americans, Elon Musk is putting it on the line in order to help our nation, and he is doing a fantastic job. But the radical left lunatics, as they often do, are trying to illegally, inclusively boycott Tesla, one of the world's greatest automakers and Elon's baby, in order to attack and do harm to Elon and everything he stands for. They tried to do it to me at the 2024 presidential ballot box. But how did that work out? In any event, I am going to buy a brand new Tesla tomorrow morning as a show of confidence in support for Elon Musk, a truly great American. Why should he be punished for putting his tremendous skills to work in order to help make America great again? So Trump is just using the bully pulpit of the presidency to help Elon Musk move more of his exploding cars, like absolutely baffling. And this coming from the guy constantly raging against electric vehicles makes it all the much more hysterical, but also blatantly corrupt. Donald Trump does not like these CS. He is doing it for Elon because his stock price is down about 50% since its peak right after the election, when everyone was buying Tesla, knowing that Elon Musk would be cut in on whatever he wanted. As far as federal spending goes, and it's not just Rachel Maddow calling that out. She also brought on a guest friend of the show, someone we spoke to recently, Elizabeth Warren, right here.
So think of the stock market as a flashing light, at least for how investors and economists who are looking at kind of the long-range economic trajectory that this country is on. So let's start out. Donald Trump said back when he was running for office, he would do one thing on day one, and that was lower prices for families. His words, not mine. So he's now been there. We're heading into our 8th week. And what has he actually done? And the answer is nothing to lower prices, but he sure as heck has created a lot of economic chaos and things that will actually increase prices for families. So he's played red light, green light with tariffs, on again, off again, with whether or not we have tariffs against Canada, tariffs against Mexico. He and his co-president, Elon Musk, have fired or attempted to fire, because most of this is not legal, thousands and thousands of people who keep airplanes safe up in the air, people who test our drinking water to make sure it's okay to drink, thousands of veterans who work for the federal government, and has basically tried to shut down a couple of agencies and shut down anyone that is investigating any of Elon Musk's businesses. So that's what they've done. And what the stock market, in effect, is flashing red over is that's not how you build a strong economy going forward. You create that kind of chaos. You try to lay off people. What happens is consumers start pulling back. They don't spend as much money. Businesses say, whoa, I can't invest there. I can't know if I can invest in that thing. Is there going to be a tariff or not be a tariff? And the consequence of that is that you start having everyone pull in. That contracts the economy. And that means we're in real economic trouble. And that's where Donald Trump and Elon Musk are driving us.
The blatant corruption is staggering, and it is unass. They don't care. They are so happy to go forward with this screw you over and say it to your face, really. They don't actually feel bad about it. And so we're going to have to make them feel bad about it. Because I promise you, the Republican members of Congress are getting booed in their town halls. Yeah, they're feeling a little bit of that shame that they forgot about. So let's bring that back. We're going to be doing it on this show every single day if you want to support that. As always, you can hit that subscribe button, you can leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around at the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.